Hello guys, how you doing today? I have a 2015 it's a BMW X5 with like a which is like a F15 with like a N55 engine, which is like it's a good engine. I'm gonna do today like a multi-point inspection with you. If you want to buy this car, it's a good car to buy, and also if you have to buy it and what you can check in it before you buy it. And I'm gonna pretty much like open the hood. So when you open the hood, you could pop like the cover off. So this repair is pretty much like expensive. What you could do, you can pop this like a connector off, which is like that's a valve tronic motor actuator, to make sure like there's no oil in it. Okay, and also when you turn the ignition on, you should hear like the engine to be quiet and no abnormal noise from the engine, like with like turning the ignition on. So after that, you have to check like your oil filter housing gasket to make sure over here there's no leak around here. If it's like a leaking around here, it's like an oil filter housing gasket, and which is like there's one here and one down there. To do that, you will have to remove the intake manifold, all of that will come out to replace the oil filter housing gasket. The repair is not, the parts is not too expensive, but the labor time, it might be around like 5 hours to do it. And over here, you have to make sure like your oil pan is not like leaking. To check your oil pan gasket, so on the valve cover gasket, you gotta go over here, make sure around here there's no leak down there, it's not wet. If it's wet, so most of the time you will have to replace like the valve cover, which is like see this gasket over here, you have to replace the valve cover if it's warped. Labor time is about 5 hours, but the valve cover is a little bit like expensive. After that, you will check that. That's most of the time the issue with like this N55 engine, which is like no valve cover gaskets leaking or oil filter housing gasket leaking. Now I'm gonna bring the car up. We'll have to check the suspension to see like what's most of the time is leaking, and if you have to buy the car, what you should avoid. Car is up in the air right now, so you have to go to the front suspension. Make sure your axle boot is not leaking. Sometimes like the axle boot, like pretty much the tone, there's no grease in it and it's leaking. You check like your bushings. Make sure your truss and bushings is not leaking. They call it like the lower control arm, or it's like the truss and bushing. Make sure it's not leaking. So after that, on both sides, you have to check that, and you have to check like your oil filter. Your oil pan gasket. Your oil pan gasket is right there. Most of the time you could see like it's dripping like all the way down here. This thing started already, which is like it's a little bit like wet. You have to make sure the oil pan gasket is not leaking, and to replace the oil pan gasket, guys, the whole subframe got it dropped. To do that, and also to fix it, like a labor time is about like from 11 to 13 hours labor time. And the gasket is not too expensive, but the labor time to replace the gasket is pretty much like expensive. After that, you have the transmission are always like good shape. You have to check like your your connector, make sure now it's not leaking. After that, you have the transfer case. Most of the time, the transfer case your bushing like blown, and to repair that, it's about like 5 hours in labor time. And if you keep moving toward the back, after that, say like I said, it's a good car. You have to check your rear differential. Make sure is the axle seal. Most of the time the axle seals are leaking on both sides, and have to replace the axle seal. It's about like 5 or 6 hours in labor time. You have to drop like the differential to replace it. After that, guys, everything in this car is a great shape. When you're buying the car, you see the coil spring, that's it when you should buy. Sometimes like there's came with like an airbag suspension, but the coil spring is safer because the airbag is most of the time they run out, they blown, so you have to replace it. But this one with the coil spring is like a good car like to buy. So I think that's all, guys. So gonna leave you there, and I will see you around for another video. If you like this video, just like give me like a thumbs up, a comment, so I will see you for another video. Thank you. Have a nice day.